FPL Lisa, thanks for joining in. How are you? All good, all good. Just recently logged on. I don't think I will make any transfers this game week. We'll probably just save a transfer. I only have one, so I think it will be a good idea to at least have a couple of free transfers heading into game week 26. So no transfers made, no transfer plans. I will probably just play this team. And at the moment, I actually have Jared Bowen as my captain. Bruno Fernandes, vice captain. I'm tempted by Bruno Fernandes as well at home against Spurs. Could be a really good fixture for Man United this, but leaning towards the differential of Jared Bowen at the moment. I have Saka and I want to get either Wirtz or Rice. I also want to transfer Foltmother to Jared Bowen. Only one free transfer. Ooh, so things that next game week, potentially you should make that Rice investment for game week 25. I think I would actually prefer having Jared Bowen in the team playing against Burnley. Rice, he can potentially wait another game week. The FPL Grandmaster, as a West Ham fan, I'm not sure if I'd captain Jared Bowen, as Somerville and Tati have both looked quite involved in the goals too. Yeah. And Somerville, at least for the last 2 or potentially 3 last game weeks for West Ham, he has actually looked really, really good. I think that Jared Bowen, he can assist Somerville as well, as we saw in game week 23. Or was it game week 22? But FPL Grandmaster, as a West Ham fan, do you reckon that Jared Bowen is on penalties? At least he took the last one. I think that Jared Bowen could be a good pick this game week. I think most people with Captain Haaland and Bruno, yeah. So we saw this in game week 24 as well. Erling Haaland, he was actually the most captain player. He has been sold a lot. We saw his price drop yesterday as well. But I think that he will be the player with the highest effective ownership in game week 25 as well. So the most sold players, Saka, Bruno Guimaraes, and Igor Thiago. Most transferred in. So the people that currently are selling Igor Thiago, probably bringing in Joao Pedro. He is the most transferred in player so far this game week with over 500k transfers in. Saka, I think selling Saka makes sense. Next game week, we would like to have a triple up on Arsenal considering the double game week. So Saka will most probably miss out this game week and he will see limited minutes in the double game week as well. So in my opinion, it definitely makes sense to sell Saka this game week. Benny G, hey, how are you? Are you ready for game week 25? Benny G. So we actually 1 hour and 36 minutes left. So this day has gone really fast for me. I was actually planning on going live a bit earlier, but other things came up. At the moment, there are a lot of other big YouTubers, FPL YouTube accounts having streams as well. So not really expecting that many in the chat this evening, but hopefully there will be some. FPL Grandmaster, would you sell Jimaraj for a hit this game week? It kind of depends what player you're planning to bring in. I have a dilemma on which goalkeeper to start, Verbruggen or Dubravka. So I actually had a live stream yesterday as well, and we discussed this Verbruggen versus Dubravka. The thing is that I think actually playing Dubravka this game week, especially if you don't have any West Ham attackers, I think that playing Dubravka makes sense this game week. So Dubravka, he did well in game week 22 and game week 23. I actually played him in game week 24 for his blank, but I think that game week 25 might be a good game week for Dubravka. So between Verbruggen and Dubravka, I think I will go for Dubravka. If I sell Saka, then I will get triple Arsenal defense. Yeah, I think it's not the worst idea considering that they are the best defense. They have, of course, 2 away games in game week 26 playing against both Brentford. They have I think that potentially Brentford Wolves could be good fixtures for the Arsenal defense. So in my opinion, tripling up ahead of game week 26 is not the worst idea, to be honest. I might actually captain Gabriel next game week, triple captain Gabriel in game week 26. I can't afford anyone other than Saka, Palmer, and Mo Salah as a replacement. I already have Bruno Fernandes, Rice, and Jai, and Semenyo in midfield. I would actually consider doing something like Bruno Guimaraes to probably Wirtz. I think bringing in Liverpool attackers at the moment is a good idea. They haven't been that good this season, of course, but in recent game weeks, their attackers and their defenders as well have been a bit better. So I think that having Ekitike or Wirtz going forward probably can be a good idea. That's what I was thinking too, but not sure if it's better to do that next game week for free. I think I agree, considering that, of course, Man City's defense not the best, but this could, of course, be a win for Man City against Liverpool. So waiting 1 game week with this fixture would definitely make sense for me as well. So I have actually seen a lot bringing in Ekitike this game week, taking out Igor Thiago. So I think potentially bringing in Liverpool attackers can wait 1 game week. So avoiding the hit, making this move next game week. I definitely agree this looks like a better plan, to be honest. So Bruno Fernandes, he is the favorite in the captain poll so far, 60%. No votes for Erling Haaland, no votes for Jared Bowen, but I'm actually leaning towards Jared Bowen this game week. I have a feeling that he potentially can be a really good captain differential in game week 25. Be right back. Would you take a -4 hit for Guido to Joao Pedro and bench boost with Dubravka and Jai, Rodon and Tarkovsky? So Rodon and Tarkovsky. I think this at first glance. So if you don't have a plan of bench boosting in a double game week, I think this actually looks really good on paper. Dubravka and Jai, Rodon, Tarkovsky. Just give me a minute. I think definitely if you don't have any Fulham attackers like Harry Wilson, bench boosting with Rodon. Yeah. Go for it. The thing is that if you decide to bench boost this game week, it could be a really good strategy because you can carry a fodder all the way until game week 38. So get the bench boost out of the way. If you have a good feeling about game week 25 bench boost, just get it over with and concentrate on your strongest starting 11. So with this team, definitely an option to bench boost in game week 25. The things that normally, and we have seen this a lot in recent seasons, that players that I will probably do this myself, but when you plan to bench boost in a double game week, we will more often than not be a bit disappointed. Sonny, sup man, happy Friday. Good Friday to you as well. Start Dalot, O'Reilly or Mane. I don't rate this as the best fixture for Mane. Of course, next game week he would be handy. Dalot at home against Spurs. I think I probably would go for Dalot, to be honest. At home fixture playing against Spurs, Man United have looked better recently, so I don't rate any of them as standout options this game week, but Dalot would be my pick out of the three. David Morgan, hi mate, got 2 free transfers. Would you do Elliot Anderson to Mbumo or just roll? I have Enzo Rice, Bruno and Harry Wilson already, but a bit of value in Wilson. Don't want to sell, just to buy again. And so goes. Probably just roll this game week. So we know at this point that there will be a double game week in double game week 26. So it's not like Elliot Anderson have been bad recently. He has a decent fixture as well playing against Leeds. He will most probably pick up defensive contributions and he can get assists as well. So I think I would just roll, have an extra transfer heading into double game week 26 and make a move with a bit more information in the double game week. So, of course, tempting Mbumo, but I think I would just keep Elliot Anderson at this point. Start Anderson or Tiav. I think I would probably go for Anderson, especially if you have Igor Thiago. If you don't have Igor Thiago, then probably playing the Newcastle defender is the best idea. But let's see. So if you're interested in having your team reviewed, head over to X, post a picture of your team selection, and we'll get it up on the screen. So find this post the game week 25 deadline stream post and post a picture. Irish Pit Terror, thanks for joining in. Really appreciate it. How are you? It's still 60% for Bruno Fernandes in the captain poll, even though we had a couple of extra votes. Bruno Fernandes, he is on 60%. Erling Haaland 10. So a couple of votes for Erling Haaland and 30% for other. No votes for Jared Bowen at the moment. He is my captain currently, so maybe I should consider changing my captain. So Fulham, Anderson or Van Hecke. I think probably Anderson should start ahead of Van Hecke. I'm actually starting Van Hecke this game week myself, but it's due to the fact that I don't have any other solid options. But Van Hecke against Crystal Palace might be a good fixture as well, but I would actually start Joachim Anderson and have Van Hecke first on my bench. So as you can see, I actually have Van Hecke in my starting 11, but this is more because I don't really like my other two defenders. I have Mosquera, brought him in a couple of game weeks ago, mostly because of preparation for the double game week next game week. So I will potentially have 4 double game week players in double game week 26, but don't really want to play Mosquera against Chelsea. I have Van de Ven against Man United as well. Don't fancy Van de Ven playing against Bruno Fernandes. I'm actually considering to captain Bruno Fernandes. He is the leader in the captain poll as well. 55%, 18 for Erling Haaland, 27 for other. So if you go vote for other in the poll, please write in the chat which player will you captain this game week. My first proper green arrow in 5 game weeks last week, back to 1.4. Nice. I had a really small game week as well. The game week started pretty well. I had Jared Bowen, of course, but the thing is that my players have done reasonably well in the last couple of game weeks, but my threats have done really well. So not gaining that much rank, but hopefully game week 25 will be a good one. And my team is actually pretty well set up for game week, double game week 26 at this point. So was 900k, so took a nosedive. Ooh, yeah. Cunha came good. Cunha, he started on the bench, right? So nice surprise for his owners. A bit frustrating, of course, seeing that he is on the bench, but came in, scored. Happy days. So let me just show you real quick my... So Dallin Bailey, play which 2 out of Rodon, Senesi, Chalobah, or Anderson? I think definitely you should start your Chelsea defender against Wolves. Senesi or... So it's Joachim Anderson from Fulham. I think I would go for Chalobah, and I would be tempted to actually start Joe Rodon. We'll give you a picture this evening as well. Leeds, they are actually one of the bookies' favorites. I think they're 5th for clean sheets according to the bookies in game week 25. So I would be tempted to play Joe Rodon this game week. It's not that much between them. He is a big differential. So definitely start Chalobah. I think it's close between the other defenders. Anderson playing at home against Everton, good fixture as well. I think it's between Anderson and Joe Rodon. So in this case, it's not much between them. So I think I actually would start the biggest differential in Rodon. So Rodon and Chalobah for me. Cunha started last week over the Dorgu injury. Yeah, of course, it was game week 23 when Cunha started on the bench. I'm sorry. So at the moment, this is my chip strategy for the rest of the season. I will most probably play my triple captain in double game week 26. The reason why I will most probably play the chip this game week is the fact that we know that there will be a double game week in double game week 33. There will be a double game week most probably in 36 as well. But the thing is that in game week 36, the league might be wrapped up, so we might see a bit more rotation. So in double game week 26, we know we have some players that are guaranteed of playing 180 minutes. So this is the reason why I'm leaning towards triple captaining one of the Arsenal guys in game week 26. We'll use my transfers all the way until game week 31. We know that this will be a blank game week. So Arsenal, Wolves, most probably Man City and Crystal Palace will blank as well. So we'll use my transfers to remove those players and have a strong team for game week 31. In game week 32, I will play my wildcard, and game week 33 looks like to be the biggest double game week so far this season. Free hit will be used in double game week 36 or blank game week 37, depending on which teams will be involved. So this is my chip strategy so far this season. I will make a video on this as well, so if you're interested, subscribe to the channel. I will add, of course, a bit more information. We will get more information after this game week as well. So If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel. Irish Peter, same, not sure on triple captain yet. So there will be other good game weeks for triple captain as well, of course. I just think that Arsenal options, they don't have those standout attacking options like Gyökeres. He could have been a really good FPL asset. Same goes for Saka, but I don't really trust any of them. So for me, if I'm going to use my triple captain next game week, it will probably be a defender like Gabriel or possibly Rice. So captaining a center back or a midfielder doesn't really feel right, but I actually remember 5 seasons ago, Brighton had a really good double game week and a triple captain dunk. I think he got 1 or 2 points back to back in the double game week. So it was like 4 or 6 points, probably 6 points for dunk in that game week, 3 or 6 points. So these are the predicted fixtures from game week 29 until game week 38. We know that there will be a blank in game week 31. Man City, Crystal Palace, Wolves, Arsenal. So it's not confirmed that Man City and Crystal Palace will have a blank. They might actually play this game week, but this requires Man City to be knocked out of the Champions League. I think they will go through, so I think they will have a blank in game week 31. Game week 32 will be a normal game week. It is European games right after game week 32, so no room for any added fixtures in game week 32. In game week 33, there are actually a spot for extra fixtures, no European midweek games after game week 33. So I think that potentially the Man City, Crystal Palace, I think this fixture will be played in game week 33. There might be a blank in game week 34. FA Cup semi-finalists will most probably. So if the FA Cup semi-finalists are still in one of the European competitions, they will have a blank this game week. It really looks like this fixture will be moved until game week 33. So this is most likely the biggest double game week so far this season. Game week 35 will be a normal game week. We might actually have a double in game week 36. The odds for a double game week 36, they're not that high because in the blank game week 37, we really need the teams that are in the FA Cup final to still be in Europe. So if the teams reaching the FA Cup final are still participating in the European competitions, it might be a blank in game week 37. This would mean that we will have double in game week 36. Terry Gold, bench one of Rice, Semenyo, Rogers, or Jared Bowen. Wow, really struggling this week. Ooh, tough decision. All decent options: Rice, Semenyo, Rogers, or Jared Bowen. Have to go. Have a great stream and game week. So thanks for joining in, FPL Lisa, and have a lovely weekend and good luck for game week 25. So a really tough decision for Terry Gold. Bench one, Rice. I think I would prefer starting Rice this game week at home against Sunderland. Semenyo would probably, I think that he will start. Rogers, Jared Bowen. I would definitely start Jared Bowen against Burnley. So it's between Rogers and Semenyo. Ooh, Rogers or Semenyo. I think that there will be a lot of goals in the Liverpool against Man City game. So Semenyo, he should probably start. So even though Rogers is a solid option, so out of the 4, I would probably bench Rogers. Every option just feels bad. Yeah, I know because all of them could actually do well this game week, but if you have to bench one of them, I think I would go for Rodgers. Radim Brown, hey man, how are you today? All good. I want to try risky going against Rice. Would you go Trossard or Madueke? I'm leaning towards Trossard because after Saka will be back, Trossard can still start. Definitely. So I think Trossard is a really good option, to be honest. He has a lot of routes to goals. He can pick up assists. He can score goals as well. I think Trossard actually is a decent punt for double game week 26. The thing is that if you go for Madueke or Trossard, you have to expect that they can get early substitutions from like 60s, 70s minute, and they might actually be benched in one of the double game week fixtures. But of course, the upside is really high. They are love owned and they could be really explosive. So I think going for one of them, of course, there is a risk involved because there will be a lot of players that will have really high ownership, like Arsenal defense and Rice as well. So if Rice really explodes in double game with 26, this will potentially hurt your rank, of course. But if Trossard can match them or even outscore them, could be a genius move. Start Krupi or Hill. Probably Krupi, seeing that they are playing against Aston Villa. They are actually top 3. They're probably a bit underrated, Aston Villa, because we have big expectations after last season for Aston Villa, but they are actually top 3, and things that I think they potentially will score against Bournemouth this game week. So Krupi, he will start most probably. Will he play 90 minutes? Probably not, but 60, 70 minutes. And we have seen this from Krupi Jr. that he has actually scored a couple of good goals recently. So I think I would go for Krupi Jr. I think Hill is a decent option as well. He's only priced at 3.9. I have actually made some graphics for my game week 26 wildcard and free hit video, and including Hill might be a really good idea going forward. But in game week 25, I think I would prefer starting Krupi Jr. $67 minutes left until the deadline. My plan this game week is to just save a transfer. I think it will be really precious having a couple of transfers heading into double game week 26. So at the moment, leaning towards just saving. So as you can see on my watch list in the graphics on the right hand side, I actually have Hill in for one of my defenders. Tiav to Timber for a -4. Worth it. Usually I would say no, but considering that Timber, Arteta said he was fine, and the fact that Arsenal, I haven't really seen those numbers when it comes to bookies predicted clean sheets so far this season. So we take a look at Arsenal's odds for keeping a clean sheet at home against Sunderland. They have a really good chance, 62% season high. So I think that actually taking a hit for Timber is a good idea. Seeing that you have a free Arsenal spot, you would love to have Timber for double game week 26 as well. So making this transfer this game week can potentially save making a transfer next game week. So Under the circumstances, I think this actually is a good transfer, even though it's for a -4. So Bruno Fernandes, he is the favorite in the captain poll. 54%, 15% vote, 15% for Erling Haaland. Still no votes for Jared Bowen, my current captain. Other 31%. So let me know in the chat who will be your captain for game week 25. So for me, it's between Jared Bowen and Bruno Fernandes. I have been on Jared Bowen all week. I think that he actually has looked good recently, but I might actually go for Bruno Fernandes. Definitely the safest option out of the two. Higher ownership, he will be captain by a lot this game week, so his effective ownership will actually be quite high. Jared Bowen could be a massive differential, of course. So if you're interested in having your team reviewed, head over to X, post a picture under my latest posts. We'll get your team up on the screen. So find these posts, post a picture, and we'll discuss your team. So let's get my team back. So this is my team for game week 25. No transfers made. I have one free transfer available, 0.1 in the bank, so not that much wiggle room. I have Sanchez in goal playing against Wolves. I will definitely just bench Dubravka. I have had a couple of questions when it comes to Dubravka, but considering that I have Jared Bowen in my team, I will definitely just bench Dubravka. So easy decision for me ahead of game week 25. I have Van Hecke at home against Crystal Palace. Actually, I think this is a decent fixture. Hopefully, Van Hecke can deliver attacking returns and defensive contributions. So hopefully this will happen in game week 25. Double up on the Arsenal defense with Gabriel and Timber. In midfield, Enzo Fernandez, Rice, Rodgers, and Bruno Fernandes. Up front, Igor Thiago, Erling Haaland, and Jared Bowen. So I think this team, I think it looks good on paper. I will most probably just roll, save a transfer. I think if your team looks all right, the best idea ahead of double game week, the best idea is probably to just save a transfer ahead of game week 25 in preparation for double game week 26. So we might get injuries to Arsenal assets. So we will, of course, have more information closer to the double game week 26 deadline. So at this point, if you can survive without making any transfers this game week, try to save your transfer. Currently, my captaincy, Jared Bowen captain. I'm leaning towards Bruno Fernandes. I had a live stream yesterday as well. Bruno Fernandes, he won that poll. At the moment, Bruno Fernandes, he is the favorite in the poll tonight as well. 50% for Bruno Fernandes, Erling Haaland 14%. Jared Bowen, no votes for Jared Bowen so far, and other 36. So let me know in the chat if you're not captaining Bruno Fernandes or Erling Haaland. Let me know who will be your captain. So players that looks likely to rise in price this evening. Chalobah, I think he is still a really good transfer in Chelsea. They still have decent fixtures, even though they did not get a double next game week. I still think Chelsea players are good transfer targets. Wirtz as well will probably rise in price, and the same goes for Semenyo. Anthony Gordon, Shirky, Igor Thiago, all of them will most probably drop in price this evening. Adam Shopin, hi mates. Thanks for joining in. How are you? It's 58 minutes left until the deadline. Still time to make transfers. I haven't actually decided on the captaincy yet. I'm leaning towards Jared Bowen, but or at least I have had the captaincy on Jared Bowen for 5 days, but I'm starting to have some doubts. So I had a live stream yesterday as well. Bruno Fernandes, he won that poll. Bruno Fernandes, he is the favorite in this poll as well. So I'm actually starting to be swayed by Bruno Fernandes' captaincy this game week, but still 58 minutes left to make that decision. Adam Chapin, hi mate. Adam Clarence, I think Jared Bowen captain isn't the play. Bruno plays a leaky Spurs team who tends to concede. It's also on penalties like Jared Bowen. He has DEFCON and clean sheet potential, and his goals are worth more as he's a midfielder. And is at home to Spurs whilst Jared Bowen is away against Burnley. I might actually be tempted to just follow the poll and definitely Adam Clarence in this. Really good arguments for going Bruno Fernandes. Extra point for a goal can potentially pick up an extra point for clean sheets as well. Thing is that Bruno Fernandes, he's like taking most of the set pieces for Man United. Jared Bowen on penalties, but not taking free kicks, corners, stuff like that. Leaky Spurs defense. Burnley, of course, they are actually even worse compared to Spurs. But considering that Man United, they play at Old Trafford this game week, while West Ham, they have to play away against Burnley. I might actually just, for now, go for Bruno Fernandes. So the team is saved. Not 100% locked in, but Adam Clarence and all participating in the votes have actually made me captain Bruno Fernandes. And I don't hate it, to be honest. Rocks, hi mates, how are you doing? All good. I'm really looking forward to game week 25. How are you, and are you ready? It's 55 minutes left until the deadline. No transfers made. I have just changed the captaincy from Jared Bowen to Bruno Fernandes. No transfers made. I only have one free transfer, 0.1 in the bank, so I think it makes sense for me to just save a transfer and have 2 free transfers for double game week 26. I have a decent option on the bench as well. Elliot Anderson away against Leeds. I will watch the game tonight. Will be really interesting to see how he does tonight. I might actually be tempted to start Elliot Anderson in a couple of game weeks going forward, but let's wait and see what happens. So my plan for game week 26 is actually to, of course, if it looks like Timber, Gabriel, and Rice will all play, I will definitely start them. I might actually play my triple captain. It's between Gabriel and Rice at the moment. I will bench Van Hecke and start Mosquera. Don't really expecting much from Wolves defenders in that Arsenal fixture, but hopefully they can do something against Nottingham Forest. I think my team is pretty well set up for double game week 26. I have a triple up on Arsenal, and I actually have a Wolves player as well, so I might potentially save a transfer in double game week 26 as well, but let's wait and see what happens. I set my team, please check. Nice. So if you're interested in having your team reviewed, head over to X, post a picture of your team selection, and we'll get it up on the screen. So Rocks, he has posted. So let's refresh this and see how it looks. Need to get this a bit smaller, I'd say. Like that. So this is Rock's team. It's Sanchez in goal, so a double up on the Chelsea defense with Sanchez and Chalobah. Gabriel in defense together with Tarkowski against Fulham. So really strong defense. I like this, especially seeing that you don't have any Fulham attackers. No Harry Wilson, so starting Tarkowski is fine. Gibbs White, nice differential playing tonight as well. Love it. Rice, Bruno Fernandes, and Bumo, nice double up on Man United. Rodgers is in. Jared Bowen up front. I have actually had the captaincy on Jared Bowen for a couple of days, but I just 5 minutes ago changed from Jared Bowen to Bruno Fernandes myself. Joe Pedro up front, strong bench with Krupi Jr., Guehi, Mukiele, and Dubravka. So this team looks really, really good on paper. I like Gibbs White in midfield. Will be really, really interesting to see how he does tonight against Leeds. Jared Bowen, I think he has good chances against Burnley as well. Double up on Man United. So what's your plan for double game week 26? I think I would try to fit in an extra Arsenal player, tripling up on Arsenal next game week, but for game week 25, this team looks perfectly fine. I think you're good to go for game week 25. Adam Chapin, free hit or use in 26, Mane double, no Arsenal. My team is Dubravka, Elliot. My team is Dubravka, Anderson, Guehi, Chalobah, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, and Bumo, Wilson, Cole Palmer, Erling Haaland, and Joe Pedro. Bench, Mane, Mukiele, and Maguire. Ooh, I think considering that you actually don't have any Arsenal players at the moment, it's probably a good idea to triple up. The thing is that you would like to have Arsenal players in game week 27, 28, 29 as well. So it kind of depends on how many free transfers you have. But I think that you definitely should try to get some Arsenal players, both for this game week and for double game week 26 as well. So Adam Chapin, definitely you should try looking at ways to bring in Arsenal players. So let me know how many free transfers do you have and how much is in the bank. Oops. 0.1 in the bank. Just one free transfer, so not that much real room with. So we actually have one free transfer, 0.1 in the bank, exactly the same as me, to be honest. So with this team, I think I would consider something like, I think I probably would bring in one Arsenal player this game week. So the thing is that most of your players are really good options this game week as well. So it's really hard transferring some of them out. Mbumo, Bruno Fernandes, Semenyo, Chalva Guehi. On the bench, Mane, Mukeli, Maguire. I think I would just play this team this game week and you will have 2 free transfers. So doing something like Mbumo and Maguire to Rice and Saliba next game week. Mbumo, Maguire, Saliba, and Rice. I haven't really looked at the numbers, so it might be impossible, but I have a wild card. So if you have a wild card, of course it's possible to play the wild card next game week. I wouldn't play my wild card now. I think it's 47 minutes left until a deadline. I would be quite stressed if I started preparing for a wild card with only 47 minutes, but I think you can survive next game week if you bring in a couple of Arsenal assets, at least one defender, and if you have Rice as well, you should probably be fine. The thing is that if Arsenal keep 1 or 2 clean sheets, and if you don't own any Arsenal defenders, your rank will take big hits next game week. I think there will be a lot of FPL managers captaining players like Gabriel next game week, and you can't really afford Gabriel with only 0.1 in the bank, so you would have to take a hit. So bringing in Saliba at least and having Rice in midfield, or possibly play your wildcard or free hits. So I will post a wildcard and free hit video ahead of double game week 26. So if you're interested and if you're watching this later, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that video. So I usually post wildcard and free hit videos ahead of every game week. I have team selection videos as well, and if you're interested in watching players to target, it's linked in the description down below. So I usually have deadline streams like this, and I have Q&As on Friday night. It's usually on Friday night when the deadline is on a Saturday, so it's usually the night before the deadline. So had a Thursday night Q&A this week because of the Friday deadline. I think that this deadline will come as a surprise for a lot of casual FPL managers. It's been a while since we had a Friday deadline, a really hectic Christmas, then we had a bit of a break. So regular schedule in January, and then at the beginning of February we have this Friday deadline. Brilliant, thanks. No worries, hopefully this will work out. I think Saliba is a solid option. At least he will start both games in game week 26. He don't have the same attacking threat as Gabriel, of course, but he is cheaper. I don't really think you can afford bringing in Rice and Gabriel, so I think Saliba is the best you can do for double game week 26. But at least having one other defenders covering their defense will probably be a really good idea. KNG, Richards or Senesi in the starting 11? Richards or Senesi? I think that Senesi playing at home against Aston Villa, so home advantage, but Aston Villa, they are a bit underrated. They are actually top 3. Crystal Palace, they have struggled recently, so I think I actually would prefer starting Senesi. Things that Senesi, he can easily pick up defensive contributions as well, so probably Senesi for me. How about doing Guehi to Saliba? As he's playing Liverpool, then Mbeumo to Rice for a -4 next game week. Yeah, definitely an option. Can potentially sell Guehi, even though he's not a must sell, of course, but selling Guehi this game week to Saliba. So ahead of game week 25, we have a season high expected clean sheets, 62% according to the bookies. So definitely good idea to bring in Saliba this game week in preparation of double game week 26. FPL Bateman, 4 free transfers used this game week, make or break. Nice, 4 free transfers. I think you're probably well set up for double game week 26 then, but let me know in the chat which transfers did you make. KNG, thanks mate, no worries, hopefully this will work out. I think it's a Richards solid option as well, good value, but Crystal Palace, after selling Guehi, not really trusting their defense at the moment. It's 40 minutes left until the deadline. I will probably just save my transfer. If you're interested in having your team reviewed, head over to X, post a picture. We'll get it up on the screen. Let's refresh and see if we have any other teams posted. This is my team at the moment. Sanchez in goal. I have Van Hecke playing at home against Crystal Palace. Not really a fan of Van Hecke this game week, but it's at home against Crystal Palace. I just talked about Crystal Palace. They have lost a couple of players, so hopefully Brighton can do well. My defenders on the bench, Mosquera, Van de Ven. I don't really think they will do better, so at the moment, Van Hecke, Gabriel, Timber in defense. In midfield, Enzo Fernandez, Rice, Rogers, and Bruno Fernandes. Thiago, Hallen, Jared Bowen up front. So Jared Bowen, he has actually been my captain for the last couple of days, but actually 15 minutes ago, I changed the captaincy from Jared Bowen to Bruno Fernandes. In the poll at the moment, 58% for Bruno Fernandes, Erling Haaland 11. Still no votes for Jared Bowen, so 0%, and other 32. So if you're going to captain someone else, please let me know in the chat who will be your captain for game week 25. There are 8 minutes left. Let's see if I can get this back on. My chip strategy. At the moment, I will most probably play my triple captain next game week in double game week 26. The reason I know that we will most probably have a couple of other double game weeks, but we know that double game week 33 will be the biggest double game week this season, and I will most probably use my bench boost. In 36, we can potentially have another double game week as well, but this requires the FA Cup finalists to also be participating in Europe, so we might not get double game week 36. I think double game week 26 is a good game week. Arsenal, a couple of decent fixtures playing against both Brentford, Wolves, even though both away fixtures, I think Arsenal potentially can do well. So from game week 27 all the way until blank game week 31, I will use my transfers to cope with the blank game week. Will most probably play my wildcard in game week 32 to set up a good team for double game week 33 to use my bench boost. So we will have more information about a potential double and a potential blank in 36 and 37. So I will use my free hit when my team needs it in one of those game weeks. See, so game week 29 will be a normal game week. Same goes for game week 30. Game week 31 will be a blank. Most probably 4 teams involved: Man City and Crystal Palace. This fixture might go ahead in game week 31, but this requires Man City to be knocked out of the Champions League. So most probably a blank for Man City, Crystal Palace, Wolves, Arsenal this game week. Bite me, get Shalba this week and Timber next week, or just get Timber now and keep other options open for next week. I think it definitely makes sense to go for Timber this game week. I talked about this earlier. Arsenal, they are actually the team with the season high expected clean sheets playing at home against Sunderland. So I know we can't really trust Arteta, but he said Timber is just fine. So hopefully he will play. At least if you don't play in game week 25, you will have a double game week player ready for next game week. So in my opinion, it makes sense to just get Timber this game week. Adam Chapin, done those 2 transfers for a -4. Next week, I was thinking use a -4, 2 transfers getting in Joachim Andersen, the defender, and Wilson to 2. Oh, selling Andersen and Wilson to bring in 2 Wolves players. What do you think? Who would you go for from Wolves? Many thanks. Fulham got tough fixtures. I definitely get the idea of selling Fulham players, but please keep in mind if you decide to bring in a double up on Wolves, keep in mind that in game week 31, Arsenal, they will blank. So you will most probably have 3 Arsenal players. Double Wolves, this is 5. You might actually have a double up on Man City as well. So all of a sudden you have 7 players blanking in game week 31. So doubling up on Wolves, I think having 1 Wolves player probably is enough. The Wolves player I definitely would target is Mosquera, but wait and see what happens in game week 25, because if Mosquera picks up 1 additional yellow card, he might actually be suspended for double game week 26. So the thing is that it's really easy to go blind on double game weeks, but the thing is that they will have most probably a blank in game week 31. So make sure that you have enough transfers to cope with the double and the blanks. So you can, of course, carry 3 blanking players on your bench, but at least make sure to have a starting 11 for game week 31. My team is really close to locked in. I'm not really considering any moves at the moment. The only thing I'm considering is actually to change the captaincy back to Jared Bowen. I would be a bit annoyed if Jared Bowen goes Maverick this game week. I have had the captaincy on Jared Bowen all week, so let's have a look at the captain poll once again. Bruno Fernandes still in the lead, 60%, 10% for Erling Haaland, 30% for others. So no votes for Jared Bowen. I think I can't really go with Jared Bowen. So I had a Q&A yesterday as well. I always have a Q&A the night before the deadline. So this was a Thursday Q&A. I think the results were quite equal. Bruno Fernandes, he won. Jared Bowen, he lost. Erling Haaland, couple of votes for him, and other got a lot of votes as well. So if you gone and voted for other, please let me know in the chat who will be your captain this game week. Leo Bonte, is it worth doing Ekitiki for Joao Pedro for a 3-week punt? Nah, I think Ekitiki could do well, so I think you should just keep him, to be honest. Liverpool, they have some decent fixtures, so I would not sell Ekitiki this game week. So even though they're playing against Man City, they haven't looked that great defensively, so I think that Ekitiki actually can do pretty well this game week. So yeah, keep Ekitiki would be my advice. I've gone with Cole Palmer, a Maverick. It's not the worst idea, of course. Need a differential. Yeah, this is the reason why I consider going for Jared Bowen. I think that in game week 25 there will be a huge variety in captains. So at least this is good. Erling Haaland, he hasn't really done well. 1 goal, 1 assist in the last 7 game weeks. So I think this is good for FPL, good for captaincy decisions. No perma captain Erling Haaland. So his effective ownership was like close to 200% every game week, but we have seen a bit lower effective ownership for Erling Haaland recently. He has actually dropped in price as well. He dropped yesterday, so I think Bruno Fernandes' captaincy is actually quite template this game week in game week 25, but need a differential. Go with Jared Bowen. West Ham great at the moment. Ooh. Go with Jared Bowen. So actually in game week 25 there are a lot of games on Saturday. 4, 6, 7 games on Saturday. 1 this evening, Friday night. 2. It's only 2 games on Sunday. 7 games on Saturday. The thing is that West Ham playing together with 4 other fixtures. I won't actually be able to watch that much from the West Ham game. Man United early kickoff tomorrow. It's a big game for West Ham though. True. This is one of the reasons why I picked Jared Bowen earlier this week, to be honest. I got a lot of good arguments for going for Bruno Fernandes a couple of minutes ago, so FPL Bateman, I did Gabriel, Joe Pedro Goodmanson, and Sar in, sold O'Reilly, Mark Guiu, cash and Shad. Had some cash in the bank. Really good moves. So Joe Pedro in, Goodmanson, one of the cheapest starting defenders, probably the cheapest starting defender in FPL. Sar, nice differential with really good fixtures, especially in game week 26 and 27. Nice moves. I'm a bit jealous of Sar, to be honest. I have had him on a couple of occasions so far this season. I have been a bit unlucky, to be honest. I benched him when he did well. I have started him for a couple of blanks, but Sar, really good option. He might actually be on penalties for Crystal Palace as well, so definitely one to consider. O'Reilly, Mark Guiu, Cash, Shade. Shade is suspended as well, right? Picked up a red card in game week 25, so solid moves from FPL Bateman. 59% for Bruno Fernandes, 9 Jared Bowen. So it's probably ooh, Adam Chapin voting for Jared Bowen in the poll. So as I had Jared Bowen yesterday all the way on the stream. I started this stream with Jared Bowen first 30 minutes, but I got convinced taking the captaincy away from Jared Bowen to Bruno Fernandes. Should I just put it back on Jared Bowen? I probably should. Things that I I won't be able to watch the West Ham game in the same way as the Man United game, but I know this should not sway our FPL decisions, but Ronaldo and Lucas Perez are also 3.8, but Gudmundsson, he has the best game week through one fixture of the three. Yeah. So if you need your player to play in game week 31, definitely Gudmundsson, a really solid option. I've actually gone Joe Pedro captain. Adam Chopin, Joe Pedro captain this game week away against Wolves. FPL Bateman, he transferred in Joe Pedro as well. Not sure will he be your captain though. Maybe change to Bruno Fernandes. "25 minutes left to make the decision. It's between Bruno Fernandes and Jared Bowen for me. It's a big... You're trying to convince me to go Jared Bowen ahead of Bruno Fernandes, and now you're telling me that you might go for Bruno Fernandes yourself. I think the captaincy, as I just talked about 10 minutes ago, I think there will be variety in the captaincy, and I really like this. So Erling Haaland, not in his best form, 1 goal, 1 assist, 7 last game week. So I think this is good for FPL. So I don't really see Bruno Fernandes captaincy as template, probably, even though it is a bit template going for Bruno Fernandes home game against Spurs. But I have seen a lot on X, especially that Gabriel will be a popular captain this game week as well. Right, Honorable Blues, hi, would you start Igor Thiago or NGI? So it's between, you have to pick between two first choice penalty takers, both of them playing away. I think Everton playing against Fulham, it's probably the best fixture. Brentford a bit tougher playing at the St. James's Park against Newcastle, but the differential definitely is NGI, so I'll probably take a punt starting NGI. But so if you're satisfied with your rank and your positions in your mini leagues, go for Igor Thiago. If you want to be a bit aggressive and take a bit of a risk, go for NGI. Madueke or Trossard to replace Ødegaard? I have gotten this question a couple of times. I think that actually Trossard is a decent punt. Thing is, I support Spurs too, so I can't share him on. I'll stick with Joe Pedro. Cool. Sound advice, thanks. Hopefully it will work out. I think that both of them are actually decent options considering they're nailed on penalties, will play close to 90 minutes, but if you have to start one of them, I would actually go for the biggest differential this game week. And that's definitely NGI. Ralph Sutton, thanks for joining in. Hi TFS, am I okay to hold Dorgu on my bench? My team is Donnarumma, Gabriel, Timber, Tarkovsky, NGI, Rice, Bruno Fernandes, Anderson, and so Alan Ekitiki, and Dorgu, Rodon, Guiu, Dubravka on the bench. So I definitely think that with this team, you're fine to just hold Dorgu on the bench. You have Rodon. I think this is good enough. I think it will be really precious to have an extra transfer heading into double game week 26. So seeing that you have at least one solid option on your bench in Rodon, I think you're fine to just save your transfer this game week. FPL Bateman, best of luck for the game week and thanks for the stream. Thanks for joining in and best of luck for game week 25 and have a lovely weekend. Thanks TFS, no worries. Hopefully, so ultimately it's your decision, of course. I'm just giving my opinion. So hopefully, hopefully it's the right decision in the end. Ralph Seton, okay, thank you. Good luck. Best of luck to you as well, Ralph. Thanks for joining in as always. Really, really appreciate it. It's 20 minutes left until the deadline. I have said this a couple of times, but I'm not really considering any transfers. I think it will be really precious having a couple of transfers heading into double game week 26. We might have some information ahead of that game week, and having a couple of transfers could be really, really valuable. So my plan is to save a transfer. My biggest decision ahead of the next game week is actually who to captain. It's between Jared Bowen and Bruno Fernandes. I started this stream with Jared Bowen. I changed it to Bruno Fernandes. I went back to Jared Bowen, but at the moment I'm actually leaning towards Bruno Fernandes once again. He is the leader in the poll. 59% for Bruno Fernandes, 7 for Holland, 7 for Jared Bowen, 26 for other. So please let me know in the chat if you voted for other, who will be your captain. Back to Bruno Fernandes. Ooh. Great advice. Hopefully, thanks. Hopefully, we'll say this after the game week as well. Yeah, thanks for the stream. Good luck, all. Best of luck, everyone. Thanks for joining in. We'll be live for the next 19 minutes as well. So if you have any other 50-50 decisions or dilemmas ahead of game week 25, let me know in the chat. Hello, Brabi. Cap didn't go well. Ekitiki to Brabi was a big mistake, but Wirtz came through. I got 56 points. Nice, Wirtz. I think that he is a good shout. I might actually consider bringing him in myself. So my team is Lamen Single, Gabriel, Timber, Cash, Wirtz, and Bumo, Wilson, and up front Brabi, Raul, and Erling Haaland. Dubraka, Stack, Vandenberg, Tiav, 2 free transfers, 2.8. Thoughts on? I would definitely consider selling Anton Stack, to be honest, to Madueke or Rice. Cash to Maguire. Hello, TFS. Hello, thanks for joining in. I think definitely if you have, is it actually possible to do Anton Stack to Rice for free this game week? I think this would be a really good move for game week 25, and especially considering that Rice is a solid option for double game week 26 as well. Anton Stack to, I think that he will miss game week 25 as well. So with this team, you can potentially just bench Brabi and start Rice. Yeah, I can. I can't get Bruno. Not enough funds. I think Bruno Fernandes is a really good option, but my priority this game week, considering the double game week next game week, is probably, I think, doing Anton Stack to Rice this game week makes a lot of sense. Decent fixture, you can just bench Brabi playing away against Arsenal, and you will have Rice ready for double game week 26. So I just feel like Maguire will get a header. If you have a feeling that Maguire will do well this game week, you should definitely consider to bring him in. Thing is that Cash, yeah, you might be onto something. Will at least give you one additional Man United. It will give you double Man United defense. So if you want Bruno Fernandes down the line, doing something like, let's see, you have Mbumo already, I'm sorry, so triple up on, is it really worth it? Seeing that you already have Mbumo, Lamens, bringing in Maguire, you can't really get to Bruno Fernandes. I think I would just use one free transfer, save the other one, do Anton Stach to Rice. Maybe I'm a bit biased as a Man United fan. I think probably you are, to be honest. Is this a possible bench boost from Anna Shemwell? Is this a possible bench boost? Raul Jimenez, Elliot Anderson, Mukiele, and Dubravka. I think that Mukiele, really tough game, but I think that he potentially can pick up defensive contribution points. So it's not the worst option. Dubravka playing against West Ham. Raul Jimenez on penalties. Elliot Anderson, really good form. I think this is definitely worth consideration for a bench boost, to be honest. The thing is that you can potentially play the bench boost this game week, and you don't really have to plan for your bench boost going forward. So if you get an injured player, you can just carry him on the bench, or you can carry a fodder like a 3.8 defender or a 4.2 forward without really worrying about your bench. So definitely worth a bench boost this game week. And yeah, not the worst option. Maybe I'm biased. Yeah, Cap Mbumo or Erling Haaland. I like the idea of going against Erling Haaland, Liverpool defense. I think there will be some goals in this fixture, but Liverpool defense, they are a bit underrated. They are the team with the best expected goals conceded in the last 5 game weeks. So I don't really rate this fixture as a really good one for Erling Haaland. There are some rumors about Erling Haaland not starting as well. So yeah, captaining Mbumo will be a good differential. So yeah, go for it. At the moment, I'm leaning towards Bruno Fernandes. I have actually been on Jared Bowen all week, but in the captain poll, Bruno Fernandes, he is on 55, Erling Haaland 6, Jared Bowen 13, and other 26. So if you're interested, it's only 30 minutes left, but if you're interested in having a quick review, head over to X, post a picture of your team, and we'll get it up on the screen. Still not sure if I want to go Maguire. I think considering that you already have a double up on Man United with Lamens and Mbumo, blocking Bruno Fernandes by bringing in a third Man United option in Maguire, I'm not really sure, to be honest. My advice would be to just save, have an additional transfer in game week 26 and reassess. Joe Pedro captain. I like the captain differentials. I will captain a differential myself this game week. So if you think Joe Pedro will do well, it's away against Wolves. I think this is a good fixture for Chelsea. So why not? I'm going against Erling Haaland. It's between Jared Bowen and Bruno Fernandes for me. So Joe Pedro definitely a solid option as well. I think he will start. I think Chelsea will do well. So let's see if we have any new teams on this one. So it's let's have a look at this one. Oh, forgot to read the message. Who do I bench? So difficult with 5 players in the Fulham Everton game. Do I play Dubravka? So who to bench? Just need to get the bench in the screen like this. Who to bench? Real quick, it's only 10 minutes left, but this is a team posted on X. So if you're interested in having a quick, it will be a really quick team review, head over to X, post a picture of your team, and we'll get it up on the screen. So this is Howard's team. Let me know in the chat if you're still here. Who to bench? Pickford in goal. So the question was, do I actually play Dubravka? I would definitely go Dubravka, seeing that you have Harry Wilson. So yeah, Dubravka in, Pickford to the bench, Gabriel Timber, Everton for you, Joachim Anderson. Yes, Dorgu injured. I think I would actually. You have NGI as well. I think what I actually would do with this team is to play NGI, play Tarkovsky, Anderson to the bench, and play Dubravka. So if you're doing this, you will avoid having any of your midfielders playing against your defenders or goalkeepers. So Tarkovsky in. Oh, sorry, you will have Wilson, of course. I don't really think you can avoid having your midfielders playing against your defenders. So with this team, I would just put Dubravka in goal. You don't have any West Ham forwards or midfielders, so you can't really avoid playing NGI or Wilson against one of your defenders, but having NGI against Anderson, it's probably just fine. You can avoid Wilson against Pickford, so yeah, Dubravka in would be my advice. Okay, true, I didn't think about United fixture in game week 26, but I might not even have Bruno because my midfielders are not bad. Midfielders are fine. The thing is that at some points you might get injuries, and the obvious replacement might be Bruno Fernandes. But of course, if you think that Maguire will do well, you talked about a bullet header. I would really love Maguire to do well in game week 25. So if you have a strong feeling about Maguire, go for it. It's not like if you have Maguire, it's not like you have to keep him all the way until game week 38. You can change your goalkeeper as well. So, of course, if you want to be aggressive, I think you should just use your 2 free transfers. And if you have a strong feeling about Maguire, go for it. The thing is that Man United, they will play in the early fixture tomorrow. You will probably watch the game as well, right? So if you want to triple up on Man United, just go for it. Of course, they might keep a clean sheet. It might be a really good game. Double clean sheet with Lamens and Maguire. So I'm saying that I would probably just do Anton Stack to Rice and save the other transfer. But if you think Maguire will do well, just go for it. Wirtz and Bumo or Semenyo for Saka this week or next week because of the fixtures. I think selling Saka this week makes sense. I think that Wirtz actually, even though Liverpool against Man City on paper, it's not the best fixture, but I think Liverpool will do well. I think there will be a lot of goals in this game, and Wirtz is actually one of the players with the best attacking stats as well. So selling Saka this game week to bring in Wirtz, I think this makes sense. So I would probably go for Mbumo, but if you have Bruno Fernandes already, go for Wirtz. It's 6 minutes left. Let's get my team back on. Okay, true. I didn't think. Sorry, we had this one. I have Sanchez, Goodmanson, Timber, Gabriel, Wilson, Enzo Fernandez, Rice, BRUNO, captain, nice, and Bumo, Erling Haaland, Joe Pedro up front. On the bench, Dubravka, Senesi, Krupi, and Mukiele. Should I make another team selection? I think this team looks good to go, to be honest. I would bench Senesi and Krupi, the one with double up myself. Mukiele, really tough game against Arsenal. Definitely just keep him on the bench. Bruno Fernandes, captain, my captain as well. I have actually been on Jared Bowen all week, but I have actually changed to Bruno Fernandes this evening. So definitely save your transfer. This team is good to go. I think it will be really precious having a couple of transfers ahead of double game week 26. Dalian Bailey, yeah, I have Fernandes already. Thanks. Seeing that you have Bruno Fernandes, I would definitely just go for Wirtz, to be honest. I think it's a good fixture for Liverpool. Of course, Man City, big team, but I think there will be goals in this one. The thing is that Wirtz, he will have a game in blank game week 31 as well, so we know that Man City will have a blank. So let me just show you real quick. It's this one. So this is what we know at the moment. In game week 31, there will be a blank game week. So Man City, Crystal Palace, Wolves, and Arsenal, they will not play in game week 31. So the thing is that if you triple up on Arsenal for their double, make sure that you don't have a triple up on Man City and Crystal Palace. You will most probably struggle in game week 31, or at least you would have to use your free hit. So bringing in Wirtz instead of Semenyo is probably a really good idea. In game week 33, of course, you can do something like Wirtz to Semenyo for Man City's double in game week 33. It's 3 minutes left until the deadline. Still time to make one last transfer. Let's refresh this and see how my team looks. I've changed the captaincy a couple of times from Jared Bowen to Bruno Fernandes. It's currently on Bruno Fernandes. He is the leader of the poll as well, so I will probably just keep it on Bruno Fernandes for now. 62% Bruno Fernandes, 5% Haaland, 10% Jared Bowen, 23% for other. Thanks, good advice. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for the question. So I usually have deadline streams like this. I do a Q&A the night before the deadline. So the deadline is usually on a Saturday, so I usually have Friday night Q&As. So if you're interested, subscribe to the channel so you can join in on them as well. I will post a game week, a double game week 26 wildcard and free hit guide as well. So subscribe to the channel so you don't miss that one. Red or Dead bench one of Elliot Anderson, Calvert-Lewin, or Thiago. Ooh, I think you will have Calvert-Lewin playing tonight. Igor Thiago nailed on penalties. I would probably bench Elliot Anderson. I'm benching Elliot Anderson myself, so yeah. It really has to be him. By the way, for my team, should I play my bench boosts or my wildcard? On Rice Gabriel. Bench boost or my wildcard. So, not really sure if I get the question, should I play my bench boost or wildcard on Rice Gabriel? I think if you're... are you asking about the triple captain? So I actually have a decision to make ahead of GW26. I will most probably play my triple captain. It's between Rice or Gabriel. I'm leaning towards Rice at the moment, but it might actually be Gabriel. So it's only seconds left until the deadline. My team is locked in. I will have Sanchez, Van Hecke, double up on Arsenal in defense with Timber and Gabriel. Rice in midfield, Enzo Rogers, Bruno Fernandes, captain. Bruno Fernandes will be my captain in the end. No time to change captaincy. Thiago, Erling Haaland, Jared Bowen, wise captain for me this game week. Thanks. Went Saka to Madueke. I like the Madueke punt. I have talked about selling Saka. I think it makes sense to just sell Saka, considering the uncertainty about his availability. So he might miss out in game week 25, and I can't really see Saka playing 180 minutes in double game week 26. So selling Saka definitely makes sense. Frees up some funds as well, so definitely a good idea. Sorry, triple captain, I meant my bad. Yeah, so between Saka and Rice, I'm sorry, between Gabriel and Rice, no Saka triple. I will definitely not triple captain Bukayo Saka in double game week 26. So between Gabriel and Rice, I'm actually leaning towards Rice. It's mostly because the fact that he is taking set pieces for Arsenal, and yeah, he can pick up defensive contributions. Of course, Gabriel can too. Gabriel, he will get extra points if he scores a goal, but I think that the odds are better for Rice picking up assist or goal compared to Gabriel. The thing is that if Gabriel scores, it's 50% chance that Rice has the assist as well. So at the moment, I'm leaning towards triple captain Rice in double game week 26. So let's just quickly put my chip strategy back on as well. So this is my chip strategy. I will make a video with a bit more detailed explanation about this as well. So I will most probably play my triple captain in double game week 26. I will use my transfers until blank game week 31 to have a decent team for that blank game week. We'll play my wildcard in game week 32 to set up a good team for a double game week 33 bench boost. Double game week 33 looks likely to be the biggest game week so far this season, so I will potentially try to have at least 12 or 13 double game week players on my bench boost. So it can potentially be a double game week in 36, potentially a blank game week in 37. These will be small game weeks. It really depends on which teams will play the FA Cup final, and if the FA Cup finalists will still be in the European competition, we might get double game week 36 and blank game week 37. Rather Dead, thanks. Went Saka to Madeke this week. Yeah, I think I've seen this one. But thanks for joining in, Red or Dead. Best of luck for game week 25 to everyone. So if you haven't done so already, please consider giving the stream a like and subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the stream. I usually have a Q&A the night before every deadline, so it's usually on Friday nights like this. I have deadline streams like this one tonight as well, and I post weekly team selection videos and free hits, wildcard videos and all the good stuff. So subscribe to the channel. That would be really, really appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining in. Have a lovely evening and have a good weekend as well, and best of luck for game week 25.